हेलो, गुड इवनिंग, वेलकम, सुस्वागतम, स्वागत है आपका आज के इस एक्सपर्ट टॉक लाइव शो में. सो Diwali vacation is over and now we are back again with the next episode of our expert talk live session. Today is episode 97th and it's a very important topic. We will be having our expert Pragya Patil who will be speaking on how to dive into the remote IT leaders playbook and what is the importance of remote work and how to enhance it. So let us welcome our expert of the day.
Hey, hi,
Yeah,
Vipul.
hi. Yeah,
A very
hi,
good
Pragya.
evening.
Good evening, and we are thankful to you for accepting our invitation and joining in today's live show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me here, Vipul. I really love your YouTube channel, and I think it's a great resource for any professional who is wanting to grow in their career. So I think you are doing a great job, and I'm really happy to share the insights with your audience today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the appreciation and taking initiative to share your knowledge and experience because sharing is caring, and we salute your spirit of this sharing and caring. So thank you so much once again, and audience, yes, Sandeep, thank you for joining in. Good evening. Yes, audience, shows your love, join in, and yes, Rakesh, thank you for joining in. Yes, audience, you can show your love, and we will be happy to have you. You can ask your live questions. We would love to have them during the session. और आप अपना फीडबैक रिएक्शंस जो भी है शेयर कीजिएगा ड्यूरिंग द सेशन विच इट विल बी अ मोटिवेशन फॉर अस बिकॉज दिस इज 97th वीडियो सेशन और उससे पहले भी हमने ऑडियो सेशंस भी किए हुए 10. सो वी आर डूइंग इट सिंस लास्ट 2 years एंड द ओनली थिंग विच इज मोटिवेटिंग अस इज यू ऑल. आपका मोटिवेशन एंड अप्रिशिएशन इज द ओनली थिंग विच इज you know uh, inspiring us to keep it up. So thank you so much. Be participative, ask your questions, uh, encourage us to keep it up. Thank you so much. Let me start the session. Let me give a brief intro about our speaker of the day. So an emerging author and a speaker, Pragya Patil specializes in coaching and training IT leaders. Her focus is on implementing effective strategies, insights, and processes to foster belonging, connectivity, and high performance within remote IT teams. Commitment to sharing their extensive knowledge and experience, she aims to reach a broader audience through their writing and speaking engagement. So, thank you, Pragya, once again. Uh, Before we dive into the session with the questions, please tell us more about you and your journey till now. Over to you, Pragya.
Sure, Vipul. I started my career as an IT professional, and I have been into IT, project management, and architecture for more than 18 years. So I've served in higher management. However, when the pandemic hit 3 years back, suddenly even my company had to switch to the work from home model. And that's when as a leader, right, I was like bit startled in the beginning because it was a challenge that we could not foresee coming in. However, what I realized is that like remote work gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of managing our day. Like I used to struggle, giving enough time for my family members, to for my own exercise and for my hobbies. So I love singing and painting. So I used to struggle, even attending the class sometimes
Wow.
because I used to spend almost 3 hours to and fro going to office. So I could, easily follow all my hobbies during pandemic while we work from home, and even like I could take a break in between and go for nature walks with my friend. So I thought, hey, this is so wonderful, and what I was doing all these years, like even my mom always used to complain that I'm not giving justice, to my artistic talents because I always, I keep focused on work. So I really love that lifestyle, and I thought, okay, this is something I really like, and I want to work like this for the long run. So I was managing a large team in an IT company at that time, and even what I noticed is we were seeing improvements in the productivity, Even our clients were really happy to see our results. Of course, I could sometimes observe that the boundaries between the personal life and professional life would be blurred. Like sometimes I could take a break for 2 hours in the evening, but I would stay late night for US calls. So overall, I think we were doing great, and even our company culture was awesome. Our management was very caring. But this is how, like, 1 year passed. But then suddenly, in just 2 months' time, I witnessed almost 30 plus people leave our organization. And that's when, like, I was in the shock. I was like, oh, what is it that we are doing it wrong? Because according to us, we are giving people good raise promotion. We are giving them career growth opportunities. Then why is it that, so many people are leaving the organization? So that's where, I felt that. So, in the remote work, people lack the sense of belonging for the group, for the organization. Sometimes they feel disconnected. And that's what I think motivates them to leave. And that's how I got interested into this topic. And I started doing my
Wow.
research. So I got in touch with my fellow IT leaders, and then I tried to understand what are their challenges that they are facing. So I, categorized them, and then I came up with some solutions which will help the IT leaders accelerate high performance, while they implement it, and at the same time keep the team engaged, focused, and they could also retain the talent in the organization. So that's how I started my journey, Vipul.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great. So, yes, audience, you can ask your questions. We will be happy to. Yeah, yeah. You were saying something, Pragya? You're
I'm
saying
good.
something?
No, I'm good, Vipul.
Yes, audience will be happy to have your questions. We will definitely cover them during the session. So stay connected. Sandeep will have your question definitely. So let's start with the very first question. What are some common misconceptions or challenges that leaders face when managing remote teams, and how can they overcome them?
Sure, Vipul. So, looking at the leaders that I'm coaching, like I see, there are a lot of myths that they carry, and I need to bust those myths as a remote work leadership coach. So, one of the myths is that they feel that they need to see people are working in front of them in order to for them to feel that okay, they are productive. So the moment somebody goes offline, they start thinking that hey, this guy is not working, and it's maybe productivity. The second myth is like there is no accountability. So they feel that the work is not being done on time, right? So like this, there are so many myths that people carry, and the most important one is they always feel the need to control people, to micromanage them, just to get that satisfaction that okay, I'm doing my job as a manager, and I'm making people work. Those are some of the myths people have, people.
Great, great. So, like Sandeep is asking one question, so let's cover them. Like he's asking that is a remote work suitable for real estate brokerage consultancy or like firm?
That's a great question, Sandeep. So, Sandeep, let me clarify that remote work is not for everyone. Okay. So, like, there are so many factors we need to consider. Okay. So, the first one is what is the job role? What are the roles and responsibilities, that are defined for this particular job role? Is it something that in which a lot of personal interaction is required, or is it something which they can do virtually via Zoom calls and with using other technology media to connect with the customer, right? So that is first question. Because I believe that in real estate, having that rapport with the customer and building the trust is one important factor that comes into picture. uh, so these are some of the factors which you need to consider. Okay, but if you ask me, right, then I think there is uh, the broker should meet prospect at least once, so that there is some personal touch, some rapport gets developed, and then going forward, you can connect with them virtually. I also feel like, because I am also looking for a house, so I really like when they share the video in advance. So I think if you can, give them the virtual experience as a broker, right? If you can show them the house features via video call before asking the customer to come to your place, that it saves a lot of time and efforts and energy for that customer, right? So I think it's a great idea and something we can definitely explore.
Great. Yes, thank
Yes.
you, Sandeep, for asking the question, and hope we have covered it. Yeah. Moving on to the next question, how flexible work trends in reshaping the global landscape?
Yeah, Vipul. So, Vipul, like if you compare, pre-pandemic era with the post-pandemic era, right? So we knew that okay, there are certain trends, time, right? So we know that okay, this is going to be the future. But if you compare pre and post-pandemic era, then you can see that this trend has been accelerated. As in, like whatever changes are supposed to happen in a few years time, they are happening in few months time, right? So look at the explosion in the generative AI space, right, which you can see. So similarly, like because we were forced to work from home in the pandemic, suddenly people realize that there are so many benefits of the remote work, especially for the companies. They can save a lot of real estate costs when they work remote. And
Yeah, Pragya, if you can check your voice, then it's not coming clearly. There is some, disturbance. So if you can check that, yeah,
sure, sure. Yes, let me.
yeah.
Is it better now?
Now, yeah, now it's okay. Yeah, yeah.
It's better? Okay. Sorry about that, Vipul. So what I was saying is, due
So,
to the
yeah,
pandemic,
yeah. So
these
the question was how flexible work trend is reshaping the global landscape. Yeah.
yes, Vipul. So, what we are observing is that the changes which we thought would happen in few years' time, they are happening in few months' time, especially due to the pandemic. Because in the pandemic, we were forced to work from home, and that's how people have realized the benefits. From employee standpoint, definitely they have a good work-life balance. They can spend enough time with their family. They can take care of the elderly. And for the companies, it's a great benefit because they can save a lot of cost on the real estate front. Apart from this, according to McKinsey's survey, around 25% people around the globe are going to be working remote. And most of the job opportunities are going to be in the high skill area, which involves science, mathematics, technology, right? And then the companies, what they are locally in that country. So they are forced to look for the talent globally across the world. And that's where, like it's beneficial for the organizations as well as employees. However, there is a caveat here because none of us are used to, this working setup. Like neither the employees nor the companies are used to this. So then, definitely there is some upskilling and some training is required so that we acquire those the skills which can make us successful, the employees as well as the organizations in the remote workspace. Right? Another observation is that, as I said, the remote work is not for everyone. Especially, it is very attractive choice for the millennial generation. Somebody who's in their 30s or 40s who are raising their kids, so they want to spend quality time with their family members. So if you look at the younger employees, like who are in their 20s, or even older ones like who are in their 50s, so both of these categories, they want to have some socialization, so they want to go to office and work, right? So that's why for millennials it's very much attractive. However, like if you ask me personally, anybody who wants to live a meaningful life, who wants to explore the meaning of life beyond work, who want to connect with their whole self, like any like if I care for a cause, let's say if I care for animals or nature, right? With remote work setup, I can easily go and spend that time, so that gives me a satisfaction that apart from work, I'm also fulfilling my responsibilities as a good citizen, and I'm really making a difference in the world. Yes, Vipul.
Yeah, well answered. And even I can relate to your answers because post pandemic, my entire team we have adopted the hybrid model, and we are working completely on a remote and hybrid mode. So I can relate to your questions. It's a lot of time savings, and we can have a productivity if things are on place. And yeah, so Sandeep is also asking one more question. How to engage emotionally remote working employees? Uh, yeah, so if you can answer that.
Sure, Sandeep. I think you have nailed it. As in, like, you have exactly identified the problem, and I see this problem not only with you. I think you are into real estate, but I can see the same problem in IT and the other sectors also. So, Sandeep, what happens is, like, when we are in a virtual mode, right? So there's a chance of getting distracted. So let's say if we are in a meeting, and if I have turned my video off because I'm lazy, and I don't want to dress up at home. I just want to be in pajamas, right? In that case, and then I have my phone in my hand. I have my Instagram, YouTube, everything, right? And maybe Netflix also. So then, and then let's say my team leader is explaining something important. There's a high chance that I may get distracted because there are so many temptations around me, right? So I think the most important skill which we need to teach people is how to focus. Okay, how to manage the distractions, how to focus, and I think you raise a very important point here, how to engage them emotionally. Okay, so I think it's a time that we become little creative about work, because see, like, earlier when you were in office, people are forced to sit at the desk and do their job. But as I said, you are now competing with other entertainment platforms, like you are competing with Netflix, Instagram, YouTube. So you have to make it engaging and creative. So I would say, like, feel free to leverage music or visuals in your important meetings. So let's say if you're doing an important presentation, right, for your team, maybe you're explaining them what are your targets for the year. Then have some audio visual created and play it at the beginning of the meeting, right? So that will help you get them engaged. Also, make it a point that you ask them how they are feeling. Okay, so because sometimes what we think is that, okay, the leadership, if you're a leader, you have to be very logical, and it has nothing to do with feelings. But as you exactly said, right, when you feel some emotions about your company, right, your job, your team, that keeps long term, right? So always ask them how they are feeling about the work. Have weekly check-ins with them, right? Even if it is for 15-20 minutes, that's fine. Ask them how they are feeling about their workload, and are they facing any challenges? How can you support them? Is there any personal issue that they are facing, right? That is one way. You can also explore some softwares, like there's a plugin called a Skona for the Slack. So it has a built-in feature wherein you can, if you're in a meeting, right, you can ask people, okay, how you're feeling, and then you can get an idea of what is the emotion of the group, like what is your team as a whole, what is the dominant feeling that they have. Okay, and you know what? Even as a leader, you have the power to model the positive emotions. So, as a leader, you want them to feel proud of your company, to feel proud of their achievements, right? You want to encourage them. So, then basically, you need to leverage the technology features, like basically, let's say, thank you cards, right? You have in Microsoft Teams, and even in Slack. So, use them frequently, use emojis nicely. So I'll post a link to. I've created a video on this topic actually.
Definitely, we would love to have that. We'll post that link in the YouTube video description, so you can anyone can definitely see that later on. And yes, audience, you can also connect with Pragya on LinkedIn. She'll be happy to connect with you guys, and you can DM with your query post this session. She'll be happy to help you. So moving on to the next question. You know, we have many organizations have shifted to remote or hybrid. So how it is different to lead that team, compared to in office teams?
So when it comes to remote work, you face different set of challenges, people. So the most important one being because you are not meeting people physically. As a human beings, we draw a lot of cues from the body language, right? From the behavior of the people, and then we can get some idea about, okay, how they are feeling. Are they upset about something, right? What was their reaction on some important discussion that we had, right? So, but you can't. It's not that easy, to do in the remote work. So mastering the digital body language is one of the important skills that every uh, remote leader should consider developing about. Then apart from this, there are multiple challenges, right? Uh, with the sense of belonging, connectivity, for the group. Also, especially when you are working with a global team, where we have people from multiple countries, multiple cultures, then having that cultural awareness is very, very important. So let's say if you're working with Asian team, so Asians, like, we create trust based on relationships, right? So if I have a lunch with you, if I meet you in person, that's how I trust you. Whereas for US and other countries, the trust is created based on tasks. As in, the trust is created only when you deliver quality delivery in a timely manner. So these are the cultural nuances that we have to be aware of when we are working in a global setting. Right? Also, there is a mindset shift required here because you cannot expect people to be online 9 to 5. That's not a if people are doing it, then they are not really benefiting from the remote work. So we also have to embrace the idea of non-linear time. Okay, wherein we have certain quotas where we expect people to be available.
Pragya, there is some again issue in your voice. Your voice is not coming smoothly. I cannot feel your voice properly. Yeah, there
Okay,
is some bandwidth or network or system RAM issue. If you can check. Yeah, now please continue now. Yeah.
okay. So we were discussing about how leading the remote teams is different from the in-office teams. So there are certain factors which we need to consider, right? So the most important one being, like, we have to shift our mindset. Okay, so because when we work in office, we can meet people in person. So there are a lot of tasks that depend on human to human interaction. But when you are remote, that's when you have to think about how can I make the same thing happen without having a person to person interaction. Okay, that's where the importance of documentation comes into picture. So basically, you really have to increase the speed of knowledge retrieval. You should have your documentation and workflows in place that help your team get any piece of knowledge as fast as they can without needing the other person. Right? That is the first one.
Great, great. Well answered. So the next question is, what are the top qualities and skills that makes remote hybrid IT leaders successful in their career?
Yeah, that's a great question, people, and I think that's where people like me can provide a valuable guidance. The most important one being they have to, if you are somebody who is like authoritative type of a leader, right? So then that's not going to work well in the remote setting because you cannot see people visually. You have to practice empathy. You have to be a great listener. So when I say listening, right? So you really have to be very nuanced, very you notice any change in their tone voice. You notice what kind of words they are using, and that's how you have to understand people. So basically, here the emphasis should be on trust building, right? Giving them people certain autonomy and empowering them with certain rights, so that they can make their own decisions. So that they don't need you as a leader every time they are stuck with something. That's the most important one. Right? Another one is having a result oriented approach. So, like I think productivity is very much debated topic. So, and it's
Pragya, we will have to find out some solution why voice is not coming properly. If you can remove the background, then because the background takes a lot of bandwidth, and many times it gives a proper issue with the. It will be great. Yeah, yeah,
sure. Let me do that. Give me 1 minute, Vipul. Huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, so audience, I'm sure you are definitely enjoying the session and getting a lot of insights on how the remote jobs can be useful for any and every professional, for every organization, and what are the importance, how you can tackle your team while working remotely. So yes, you can ask your question. If you have any doubts, if you have any questions, then you can definitely ask your question. You can connect with our expert of the day, uh, Pradnya, on her LinkedIn ID. She'll be happy to help you with her knowledge and insight. So, yes, Pragya is back with the troubleshooting. So, let us have her once again. Yes, Pragya. Yeah. So, we were discussing, Pragya, the question was uh, what are the top qualities and skills that makes remote hybrid IT leaders successful in their career? Yeah,
Yes,
please,
Vipul.
if you can answer.
Sure, sure. So the first one, important one, is changing and adapting their leadership approach. Okay. So if you're someone who is like little authoritative and who likes to micromanage, then that's not really going to work in the remote setting. So like if I have to put it in a formal words, then you can practice servant leadership and situational leadership style, wherein you practice empathy. So you really try to understand what are the challenges that people are facing, and then your focus should be on empowering them, okay, giving them autonomy, so that they feel empowered to take their decisions, to take the work forward, so that they don't need to contact you every time they need something, okay, from you. Also, the focus should be on building trust, because like let's say in when we are in person, right, if I meet you a couple of times, the trust is built very easily. But then in a virtual setting, we have to have multiple virtual meets to build the same set of trust. So checking in with people multiple times, like ideally it should be in a weekly manner, wherein the leader should check in for at least 15 to 20 minutes on a weekly basis. So you need to have more number of interactions to build that trust, right? Of course, the technology piece is important. As I said, like you really need to leverage all the features in the technology, and then think about, okay, like instead of controlling people, or instead of forcing them to do something, how can you use nudges? So nudges like a clue which makes your job easy. So let's say you want them to update the project status in a weekly manner. So instead of like traditionally somebody will like keep on sending email unless it is done, right? Gentle reminder, gentle reminder. So then you can do it smartly, right? First is you make it easy for your team to do it. So there are a lot of tools like project management tools like Jira, Asana. So make it an async operation, okay, very like anytime they want, people should be able to go and update their status, right? Now, like there are a lot of AI tools which have come up, and I think it'll be it should be automated soon, wherein like AI will extract the collective project status, and it should give you that. So the technology piece is equally important. The third one is cultural awareness, right? So because as I said, right, due to the current situation, if you are in a high skill job, where you are into science, technology, maths, right, in that case there is a high chance that you're working collaborating with people from across the globe. So you should take some time to understand their culture, okay, the nuances of the language, what are the words, because sometimes same words can be interpreted differently in different cultures, right?
Very true.
And even like different cultures build trust in a different manner. So let's say if you are from an Asian culture, like India, China, we build trust based on relationships, right? Let's say if I have lunch with you, you are my client, then you can trust me really fast. But then if it is a US stakeholder, in that case, that guy is more focused on the timely delivery. He's like, okay, is my job done? If it is done perfectly, then only I trust you. Otherwise, I don't trust you. So
True, true,
nuances
true.
like this are important.
Well answered. So the what do you believe is the future of work after pandemic? Particularly precisely.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting question. So in the future of work, I think there's a high demand for flexibility across the globe. So like I've been following a few researchers in the work from home arena. So on an average, people are going only 3 times to office. So instead of going every day 5 times, right? They are typically going 3 times to office. Typically in a hybrid setting. And as I said, right, some of the category of the employees, like especially the millionaires, they're really reaping the benefits of the remote work, right? Also, certain individuals who are minorities who are likely to be discriminated if they go to office, like based on like gender or color, right? So they feel protected when they are remote because on the Zoom call everybody is a square, right? In person, when you meet somebody, there are some certain judgments, prejudice that comes into picture. That's not there in the remote work. So that's why like for the gaining popularity. Of course, AI and automation is the biggest piece, and that's where upskilling is required. On how to leverage it to our benefit. Right? Apart from this, there's a more focus required on the employee experience, right? So all these years, like we've been saying that okay, customer should be your first priority. Okay? But then we need to remember that it's our employees who are serving the customer. So how the employees feel, right? That's equally important. And especially due to the remote work, the global opportunities have opened up for the employees. So you're competing, with so many other companies. And so then the employees, they are likely to compare, right, the work environment, infrastructure, work culture, everything. So they need to be focused on the employee experience. Apart from this, as you know, like the metaverse integration is taking place. So already, like some of the organizations they have started integrating the metaverse in their onboarding process, right? So, yeah, we can create an avatar, have fun in the metaverse. So I think that is going to become pretty valid. And even I think the holograms, idea of holograms, with that, right, we can have a 3D like interaction with each other. So currently it is little on the expensive side, but as the technology progresses and as it becomes more affordable, I think the future of work is going to be very, very interesting.
Well answered. So that was a great answer. So yeah, how can remote IT leaders leverage technology for career growth?
Yeah. So right now, like what I see is Vipul, sometimes the employees feel that hey, it's my company's job, to give me the training for the remote work. But then what they're missing is right, as a leader, you have to practice extreme ownership. If you're not upskilling yourself, your team, then your team is not going to perform, and ultimately you are going to fail as a leader, right? So I think here we have to practice self leadership, as in take the responsibility to understand, what are the skills that we need to learn, and then put our effort, for upskilling. So when it comes to leveraging the technology, right, with the advent of AI and metaverse, there are like I'll give you some example use cases on this, right? For example, right, if you have scheduling challenges in your global team, then you can use AI organized virtual chats, which will automatically check, what's the slot that works for everyone. Then sometimes, you see like there are generic trainings which are circulated to everybody, and then they are supposed to do that. Whereas some of the folks are already skilled at So with AI, we can make the trainings personalized, so that people use their time effectively, and then we exactly train them on the topics on which they need guidance. Uh, Apart from this, for the performance tracking, right? The AI-driven performance analysis can give you a great picture, about how's the project overall project performance is. However, for the individual performance management, I highly recommend that leaders connect with their team one-on-one basis, and then try to address any challenges. Apart from this, the resource allocation is one of the biggest challenges that the remote IT leaders face. So they have a hard time, understanding who is having how much bandwidth, how much this guy is allocated, and how much more work I can give them. So that's why the optimized resource allocation can be done with AI. So there are great project management software like Notion. AI is, yeah, it's awesome. And even I like Asana personally to manage IT projects. Yeah, and apart from this, as you know,
Great,
Slack and
great. We
Microsoft
wo-
Teams also come.
great. We would love to have you have a list of all these tools which you've mentioned, and would like to put that in the YouTube description so that it will be useful to our audience. So, what's your advice for the remote IT leaders who wants to excel their career?
Yes, Vipul. So I think there are lot many factors when it comes to this answer. But if I have to summarize it in short, right, then first is like the very important is master your focus. Okay, learn to manage your distractions, and learn about how can you focus for long hours. Right? Second is unlock the secrets of digital communication. Learn to use the technology smartly, and even learn more about the digital body language and how it is interpreted differently. Also, when it comes to the multicultural teams, managing teams with global time zones, it comes with a lot of challenges. Especially, you have hard time finding out what's the common slot that works for everyone. So, try to learn more about it. One of the great practices is sharing the schedules with each other, that you can follow. That's very helpful. Also, as I said, developing the multicultural awareness, and really thinking about, okay, is how my activity is being perceived by my stakeholders who's from a different country or different culture, and then making changes accordingly. Having that open dialogue with them about, okay, what do they like, and is, is there something that they are uncomfortable with. So yeah, those are some of the things that they can practice. People, and of
Great,
course,
great.
you can also get in touch with me. Yeah.
Yes, yes, audience, you can definitely connect with Pragya over LinkedIn. She'll be happy to, help you, guide you with the best of her knowledge, and with the best possible way. I'll put the link in the YouTube description also, so you can check it in YouTube. You can check our YouTube channel, Vipul the Wonderful, and subscribe for the regular updates. So, yes, Pragya, what is your final words? What is your final advice to our audience?
So Vipul, I have one important advice. Okay, invest in yourself. Okay, treat yourself as investment. We often investing in property or savings and other stuff. So that is first. Second is really get in touch with your creative side, as in your right brain, because all these years, right, we have been analytical, and we have been task oriented. So shift your focus to creativity, and that will give you an edge, in the era of AI, because that's what is going to be your differentiating factor. And third is always track the global trends, and then try to link it with your work, and always think about, okay, how it is going to impact my work, and what are the skills I can learn which are going to be relevant for the long time. Yeah.
Well said. So save for yourself and use your right brain. Be so cultivate some hobby, creative. Like if you have a singing hobby or something like that, so you should cultivate your hobbies and be creative. Develop your creative side. And the last one, very important, keep update, keep yourself updated with the global trends. So that was amazing. Then yeah, this is like a need of an hour, and you have given rightly great advice for how an IT leaders or anyone can successfully achieve their goals and dreams in a remote or hybrid work culture. So this session was amazing, and we got to know so many things from you. So Pragya, thank you so much for this amazing session and insightful session, and we loved your insights. And audience, again, once again appealing you to connect with Pragya. She'll be happy to help you. You can DM her, connect with her, and you can have your questions or queries with her in a one-to-one mode. So that's all from today, Pragya. Thank you so much for joining in, and see you soon with some another topic and on our expert talk show. Thank you so much. Stay blessed.
Thank you, Vipul. Stay, all the best to you and your
Thank
audience.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, so audience, this was our 97th Expert Talk show, and see you again tomorrow with some another interesting topic. So, yeah, check our YouTube channel, Vipul the Wonderful, for tomorrow's session. You will get to know who we are going to have tomorrow. Or if you are watching it on LinkedIn, then check my profile. I've shared there also. So, see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. And thank you for joining in today. Audience, this, yeah, friends, this session was powered by Post Resume. So, we are providing mid to senior level recruitment services across India and Africa, specifically for IT, engineering, manufacturing, and pharma industry. So do connect with us if you are looking for any help or guidance. We would be happy to help you. So with that note, stay blessed, take care, keep smiling. Good evening, and see you tomorrow again 7 p.m. on YouTube. Subscribe our channel, Vipul the Wonderful. Thank you. Keep smiling. Thank you.